Okay, so the next stage in your Cubist architectural model is to make the base. And on the base we're going to create some kind of hillside landscaping, just to make it look a bit more landscape-like. I'm going to use corrugated card, or I've used corrugated card for that because it's a little bit thicker. So if you've got corrugated card, that's great. If you've got thinner card, you might have to layer it up. So you might have to make a few of the same layer and glue it on top of each other to make it a bit thicker. So corrugated card is ideal from old boxes or some old packaging, whatever it is you found. Hopefully you've collected some over the last few weeks. So the first thing to do is to kind of get an idea of the size of the piece you want. Now I've just cut this from a flap of a box, like the top of a box, you know, a bit like this. I've just cut it off straight. I haven't cut it down to size. But obviously what you need to do is get the boxes, however many boxes you're going to use. Now I'm going to use 1, 2, 3. I've got 5 boxes here in my structure. I would say the minimum amount of boxes you should use is 3. Okay, not 2, is 3, and I would say the maximum is probably 5. Is going to be 5. You could make more and create a bigger structure, but I'd say I would recommend 3 to 5, 3 to 5 structures, or 3 to 5 cuboids is perfect for this. So what I'm going to do is lay it out. So if I take my one I've made earlier away and bring in my piece of card that I'm thinking about using. This is not completely flat, so I'm just going to kind of try and bend it and shape it a little bit more so it is flat. Okay, that's okay. And I'm just going to lay the boxes on top. And then you get the long one, and I'm just going to play with it, stack them on top of each other. Talk a bit more about that later. But I can kind of get an idea of the amount of space that I'm going to need. Okay, and then think what I'm going to do is, just to make it a bit easier for you, is just with a pencil. Is what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a shape. I'm going to draw in a little bit harder so you can see. You can see what I'm doing there is created a shape here. Another one here, and obviously these are curves. Okay, so I'm using curved shapes, and I'm going to do one on each corner, and it'll become a bit clearer in a moment what I'm doing. But you can see that I'm just kind of drawing those in to get an idea of how much space I've got at the edges for my landscaping. You can see on this model here, obviously this shows you a bit more clearly what I'm doing. I'm drawing a curve, or kind of a wavy line there to represent a hillside, some land. Okay, some elevated land, and then obviously I've created contours like you get on a map. These kind of like contours, and obviously that represents the hill going up at the sides there. Just gives it a bit more form, so it's not completely flat. You see that on its own, if I just stuck that down on its own, it's okay. But obviously with the landscaping, it looks a bit more architectural. There's no reason why you couldn't do a smaller base. For instance, if I'm only going to use 3 boxes, then I've got a small. If you haven't got a big piece of corrugated card, then if you just stick to 3, cuboids, then you can make a smaller base. That's fine. So put that to one side. Okay, so I'm going to put all my pieces to one side. So I've just got my base, and I'm going to call that my base. And you can see that I've got the line here of that shape. Now you could trace it if you wanted to. So what I'm going to do is just get my corrugated card ready. So I've got some pieces of corrugated card here, as you can see. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that piece in the corner, and I'm just going to kind of draw a little mark there with my pencil, and a little mark there with my pencil. Okay, where that hill piece starts and where it kind of ends there. And as long as I'm roughly the same, then I'm going to draw that in on this piece there, like that. Just move it to one side so I can see it there. That's fine. You can see that shape I've drawn there. And what I'm going to do is cut it out. Okay. So I'm going to quickly cut that out there like that. And you can see now I've got my piece. I would recommend that you have a rubber as well at hand. Just rub off those pencil marks, which you don't want to see those pencil marks on the side there. Okay, brush them off. Get rid of those pieces. There we go. And that's my first piece. Okay, get rid of the pencil in there as well. Now I've pressed on quite hard with my pencil. You don't need to. Well, I've done so that you can see. And there we go. Okay, so the next piece I'm going to make is going to be slightly smaller, and that will create that kind of hill shape. So ideally, if you can find another corner. So I'm not going to do this in the right smack bang in the middle of my card. I'm going to do this at the edge to save material. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just draw around that shape. And then what I'm going to do is you can either just cut with the scissors slightly shorter. You could draw another line if you wanted to. Okay, so I'm going to draw another line inside that. And it's going to be the same. It's going to follow the same direction as that. It's just that parallel line. It's still curved. And then I'm going to cut that out. And you can see obviously what I create is another piece which is the same shape but slightly smaller. Okay, so you get the idea. So that piece looks slightly smaller but only on that edge. Okay, only on that edge is it smaller. It's not smaller all the way around. Then I'm going to take that piece, and then you guessed it, what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw down again. Now I've run out of, I've got a straight edge there, but I've got this on there, I don't like that. So this time I am actually going to draw around the whole thing, but I'm going to do it fairly close to the edge, there, not smack bang in the middle of the card. You never do that. Okay, there we have it. And then again I'm going to draw a shape, just that curved line, that curved edge. I'm going to draw it slightly smaller. It's important this time that you cut the straight edges very carefully because you want them straight. That needs to be 90 degrees there so it fits in the corner. There's a little bit of waste doing it this saves time, but that's fine. And now I've got 3 pieces. Now you can do as many as you want. On the one I've got over there is 3, there's 5 pieces. Obviously the more pieces you do, okay, and the smaller the gap between the edge, and the kind of higher you can get that hill, and I suppose the more detailed it looks as well, the better it looks aesthetically. I'm going to stick with 3. Well, I'm going to do 4. We'll do 1 more. Okay, I'll do 1 more, and I'm going to glue them down, and then we'll be done. Luckily, that piece fits across there, which is good. I've got a straight edge there already, 90 degrees. Again, smaller piece, draw that line just inside, curved line inside there, and then there we have it. Okay, I've got all my pieces ready to stick in the corner. So let's go ahead and stick them down. You can do this with a glue stick. You could do this with other glue. You could use PVA. You could use kind of gum. Got any kind of gum, clear gum, glue. Don't have to just use Pritt stick, but Pritt stick is probably the easiest way. Okay, plenty of glue on, lots and lots of glue on, as the corrugated card isn't as thin as paper. You just put in 1 layer of glue. This you need to put lots of layers. You can see the technique I use is I get the top of the glue stick and then I rub the surface of the corrugated card, onto the surface of the glue stick. And it means that you're not turning it over and putting glue and getting glue all over your model or your table, whatever surface you're doing this on. Keeps your work area nice and clean. So you just basically stick it to the top of the glue stick basically and move it around your fingers. You might get some glue on your fingers. but don't worry too much about that. It's all about getting a bit messy. That's fine. Okay, make sure that you've got to make sure all the pieces are lined up with the corner. Some points sort of that edge is a bit fine, so that one just needs sticking down. And then this is the last piece. Plenty of glue on again. I could do with rubbing the pencil out on that one, but the object of this demonstration, that's fine. Could rub it out afterwards. And there you go. So you've got one corner of your board has got that kind of landscape, that kind of hill on it in the corner there. And basically you do the same with the other three corners. And you don't have to do all three corners. On this one, I did a longer landscape on this edge, and I left this corner free. So there's various ways of doing it. On this one, I've done the two corners this end, kind of different rotations. That one is kind of this way against the left hand side. This one's against the bottom edge more. This one is going against is a hill that sticks out the whole of almost the whole length or the whole width of that edge there. Okay, so there's kind of three different ways of doing it there. Okay, so that's how to make the landscape. So you should end up with something that looks like that.